The future of the LA Convention Center is looking pretty good. I'm your brother from another mother, Evil Aniki, and today we're going to be reviewing some of the design renderings that the company behind the LA Convention Center renovation has been putting out. So today I'm reacting to some of the images that I've seen online. There's a few different websites that I've pulled these images from. The main company that we're going to be talking about today that is doing these renovations is called Populous. Let me show their website here. And they are a big design firm. They are the ones who had the winning bid for the LA Convention Center, and this is their main design here that you can see from a distance. You can see this is that Pico Boulevard Hall that we were talking about, and we're gonna get more into that in just a second. But yeah, they are a winning design firm that won the contract for the LA Convention Center. Uh, I think they had also attempted to win it in 2020 as well, and or something like that. What does this say? Uh, I don't know. This is talk about previous, but this is a little old. I think I don't know. But there's a bunch of new renderings out of what has been approved. In fact, I think this might be a little old too because I don't think that tower is there. So we'll get into this. So part of this is the main part we're talking about. There's always been plans to add another tower here to the JW Marriott and add an extension over there that you can see there's like a little walkway right there. But I don't think that's going to be part of this construction, at least not at the moment. I would love to see a tower, and I would love to see a continuation over to the hotels, so that way you don't ever have to leave the convention center. Well, not that you don't ever have to leave the convention center, but you don't have to leave the building to get to the convention center, because that's what a lot of conventions do. A lot of convention centers have it, so you can just walk straight into the convention center from like a hotel, and the LA Convention Center doesn't have that, and I would really like them to have that. Not every convention center does that, but a lot more convention centers have a lot, like they have more hotels around them. Like the issue with the LA Convention Center is that the hotels are mainly like over here, and the convention center is like over here, and there's not really any hotels over here, and it's just freeway behind it and to the side. So could use some more hotel space. So I would love that. But let's get into the actual designs here that we're going to be talking about. So I'm not going to go through these in any order. I'm just going to go through them from what I, downloaded them as, right? And this is part of the rooftop area, I believe. So they're going to be adding a new rooftop garden space. I think that's what this is. I can't tell from this rendering exactly. It's not very clear. This might be on the ground level as well. I'm not sure. This looks phenomenal. I would love a space like this where it's like half covered. A lot of the space outdoors for the LA Convention Center is not covered, so there's a lot of heat, and it just makes it really rough to be out there during the day, especially for like a summer convention like Anime Expo. But let's keep going. This is an older rendering here. This was previously what had gotten approved, I think in like 2019. You can see here they have a tower here, and that tower is probably not going to get built. And then this is different from what's been approved. But I wanted to show that this main area out here, they've been wanting to redo this main front area. I think it's like the Gilbert something Plaza is what they call it. They've been wanting to redo this for a while. And in this design, I really like this one because they cancel out Pico Boulevard completely, and I would love to see them do that. I don't know if they're going to be doing that for the version that they're going with, but we'll see. Moving along, this is also an old design as well. This one goes with the other one we saw, but I don't think this one would ever get approved because there's a giant hole right here, and I don't think that's not very practical. I do like it. It looks cool, but like I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of glass, and it's probably gonna get very dirty. Okay, this is from the new design though, and this is super interesting. This is the design that got approved, and now we've got a lot more details on like what is actually going to be here. So as you can see here, we have the west and south halls, right? And there's going to be a new exhibit hall that connects them, and that's going to be the Pico Boulevard Exhibit Hall, right? And that's super cool right there, so it just goes straight through. And then as you can see here, right next to that, that's between the exhibit hall and the current atrium. This is the hallway that goes between the two halls at the moment. They are adding in a bunch more panel rooms, and it looks like there's going to be like an atrium. I shouldn't say any, like a sort of like a big open spot inside there as well, which would be pretty cool to let in some light. And then there is also a multi-purpose space I don't know if this is going above or below. Is this going? I think this is going above. I think this is the top part. So this is, I believe, the top part, which is the multi-purpose space. And there are more renovations here that we actually can't see. Um, total contingent contingent exhibition space increases to approximately 750,000 square feet, total of 913,000 square feet, or exhibit space. Total meeting room space increases from approximately 193,000 square feet, 80. It was, so basically it's going to 80 plus rooms. I don't know how many rooms there are at the moment. That's kind of crazy. 80 plus rooms. 80 plus rooms would be amazing. New upper multi-purpose hall for of approximately 95,000 square feet for exhibits or divisible to 11 meeting rooms. Okay, so this area up here, this is the rooftop zone that I briefly mentioned, and we're gonna get some better renderings of this. But it looks like this one right here, it's 95,000 square feet, so it can be used as an exhibit hall, or it can be used to be broken up into 11 different rooms. That's pretty cool. They already have kind of like room dividers down here in the other main halls, so it's kind of nice to see that they're doing that up here with this hall, to make more meeting rooms or to change it into a giant hall, which was super cool. There is an aspect of this that they are missing is the Pico Boulevard. We've got some renderings of that we're gonna check out. Let's see if we get lucky. This is the aerial view. This is a more modern one. So the one we looked at first, it's on their website, had a tower here, and there's not a tower on this one. You can see that, right? So this is more like what we're gonna see, what we're gonna get. And you can see here they kind of like completely redo the back of the convention center here and a little bit of the front, but it's this main Pico Boulevard hall area, and this top building, like you can see, it actually goes up. So there's going to be a whole nother floor to the convention center going upwards. It's going to be pretty tall. I'm super psyched for that. And this is the new backside of the convention center. So I think there's another website I got here that I can show you guys for a better example of this. Yeah, right here. So this website had a good example of what it looks like currently. So this is the backside of the convention center that we have right now, and this is what they're going to revitalize it to. They're going to have a big LED screen right here, and then they're going to have a big loading bay here. And as you can see here, it does look like Pico Boulevard is still going to be a through street, at least sort of, maybe. I don't know. We're going to see some of the renderings, so I don't know if it's going to be a through street or if it's just going to be turned into like a drop-off point. But I do like this a lot. I will say they are doing some photo manipulation here. Like you can see when I go over, oh, this looks so sad and dreary, and then you pull it over and it's like bright and shiny, sad and dreary, bright and shiny. A little bit of manipulation tactic going on there, but I do like the change. The backside has been long neglected, and to be honest, I know it's just a giant freeway right here, so this is like a freeway point of view, but it would be very nice to have, a little bit more advertisement towards the freeway. And let's just go through some of these because they're here. So this is what the top view currently looks like. So we're currently on top of what is this, the South Hall or the West Hall? I don't know. We're looking at the other hall. We're on one hall looking at the other hall, right? And this is what it currently looks like, and this is what they're going to change it to. So this is the Pico Boulevard Hall, and then the new exhibit space that's going to be on top. And as you can see here, there's going to be like a rooftop garden, which is super cool. I'll dig that a lot. And then this is another view, so we're kind of on the other hall now, and we're looking at another view of this hall. And I like this. It looks like there's going to be a lot of outdoor space. I think there's going to be glass here, but like it looks like there's going to be like it's going to connect to outdoors, and I don't know if it's going to connect to the rest of the roof, but I like it a lot. But let's keep going through these designs here. So here's a better view of, well, I shouldn't say a better view, a higher quality rendering of that rooftop. This looks phenomenal. You can see here, this is going to be like sort of like an atrium downwards, so you can see down to the bottom floor, but they're going to surround it with what looks like grass and stuff. I think this is going to be amazing for like photo shoots, and this is going to let in a lot of natural light to the bottom level, so it doesn't feel so dead inside. Here's that other angle, better view. And you can see here it looks like they've got, this is sort of the spaces how they're planning it as like an exhibit hall. As you can see, they got like people attending some type of an event here. And it looks like there might be little couches or something here in this grassy area. And there are stairs here to get down to this spot right here. I don't know what's going on with that, or if people would even be allowed outside. We'll see. I don't know how I feel about these stairs here, because it kind of implies that there's like something to do here, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. But moving on, here is a new view from the freeway, which I kind of like. So you got that building here, and you got the LEDs there, but they want to add another LED sign here to the back of the other hall as well, and that would, you know, give more uh, marketing space for events and to the freeway. I will say having a giant LED like that can be a little distracting on the freeway, but we'll see what happens. Looks good. Looks good. I'm liking it. Can I get to the next image now? There we go. And this is what I think is happening to Pico Boulevard. They haven't really made clear here, but I think they're going to turn Pico Boulevard into some sort of drop-off zone. And I would love this. This kind of looks like an airport, but it also kind of reminds me of like a mall shopping center where you have like that kind of drop-off point, because we don't really have that at the LA Convention Center right now. And I think if we did, that would probably, you know, be really beneficial to the convention center, because at the moment getting a Lyft or Uber to the convention center is pretty rough, and it's just not practical. At least if during like Anime Expo they let you off on like the main street, and then you have to like walk over, and it's just not fun. This is another rendering here of a different angle. I think this might be on the opposite end, so you can sort of see down, right? So we got 5 to 1, so it looks like they're looking for like at least 5 different drop-off zones. You know, maybe it's like, you know, 1 is buses, 2 is shuttles, 3 is Ubers, 4 is people, 5 is something, you know, whatever, however they plan to do it. Looks good. I would love this. I would absolutely love this. I will say for Anime Expo, they have the shuttle drop off closer to the JW Marriott. And so if you're at the actual exhibition halls, you have to like walk over, and it takes like 30 minutes to I'd say even longer than 30 minutes to walk over to the JW to make sure you get to those buses. And this would just make it so much more efficient and faster to get from the hotel to the convention center, which I like a lot. I like that a lot. And here is another interior shot. So this is why I think it's going to be Pico Boulevard, because you can sort of see out here. So I think it's going to be Pico Boulevard, and then you're going to sort of pull in. And they've labeled this all for the LA Auto Show, which is kind of weird. But they are kind of just trying to showcase that they're better off with cars. And I think this might be the new spot, but I also think they might be doing some type of retrofit to the Kentia Hall. And maybe they'll change the Kentia Hall up a bit. Now, this design has been used in a few different renderings here, and we're going to see this a few times. This is that sort of atrium that we saw from the air, from the top part, where it's like surrounded by a bunch of grass stuff up here, a bunch of bushes, and that's the new hall up there. And then there's a new Pico Boulevard hall there, and then that's the new exhibit hall completely that can break into the office rooms up there. And this is nice. I like this. This is beautiful. I do like it's a big open space. I think you could hang some really cool banners in here. There could be some really cool activations. It's a good midway point between the 2 main halls at the moment. And I think this like hallways here would lead to a bunch of new panel rooms as well, which would be absolutely epic. And this is another picture of the drop-off zone. Again, looking more and more like an airport. I like this. I think this implies that they're really thinking about the drop-off points for larger events. I will say Anime Expo, again, has some of the worst drop-offs, you know, possible. And it's so hard to get picked up, and the traffic is so crazy. And there's so many people standing on the corners trying to sell you stuff or trying to protest, that having it just be blocked off by, you know, the actual event would be so much nicer. And again, this is I think already exists. I think this doorway is into the Kentia Hall area. Like it just sort of goes up and then down, and that's like this goes into this doorway already exists. And so this whole roof here is the new spot, which would be, I think, added. But I do like this like light interior panel thing that they're doing here. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know if it would be like an LED that they can swap out for events, but it looks cool. But one lane street's kind of worrisome. I don't know about that, and I don't know if people would be standing here. Another rendering this. They did a lot of renderings of what Pico Boulevard is going to look like, and I do like this. This looks pretty nice. And then, okay, this is a big one. This is the Gilbert something Plaza out front. And at the moment, this is just basically like a giant parking lot and then a giant concrete area. And I like what they're doing here. So this spot right here with like the what do you call these? Like the I don't even know if this is like a, you couldn't really consider this like a this resting area with all the tables and stuff. I don't know. I was about to call it like a gondola or like a uh, Pagonia, right? I don't know, but I don't think that's how you would call it because it doesn't look like it would block out rain unless there's like glass there. But I don't know if that's true. There's been talks that they were going to put a coffee shop or some type of shop here, so I don't know if this is actually going to stick. But I do like this because this would be like if you block this off, this would make such a beautiful section, especially for cosplay photo shoots and photo shoots in general. I will say having the parking lot here for Anime Expo app does absolutely nothing. And it does seem like there would be like a small little walkway here, which looks a lot nicer than what we have currently because it's just a road and it's so ugly. And there is some grass there, but it's just super ugly. And I could see this being a whole blocked off and just being a ton of cosplay photo shoots here during Anime Expo or during LA Comic Con, and it would be absolutely phenomenal. And there's some staircases over here, which is interesting. I don't know what I'm looking at over there. We'll see. Maybe it's like an outdoor amphitheater or sitting area. Sitting area looks like okay. We don't really have a good rendering of what this looks like from like close up, so I don't know exactly what we're being walked up to. There's not really a rise in space there, so I don't know why we'd be going up. I do like this. This is amazing. I will say having a park like this in downtown would be super nice. Yeah. And then here is another aerial view. So it does look like it's just sort of like a seating area. So it's like an outdoor amphitheater type of deal. So I like that. I like that a lot. I like that, you know, it leaves the corners big, it leaves this way big, so you have walkway into there. And it does look like there's maybe some type of walkway. I know there's doors into the convention center here, but maybe they'll utilize those a little bit more. And it does look like I think the one thing I like about this is that the crypto arena has been kind of tough to deal with for the LA Convention Center. And because they're always doing sports games at the same time as like big events like Anime Expo, and so it's kind of like competing foot traffic, and so they kind of like are tough about this area. This area right here is normally called the Horseshoe, and a lot of times they just close it down for bigger events, and it really irks a lot of people. Uh, this looks phenomenal. I like this. I like how they have the barriers here, a little actual outdoor sidewalk. I'm curious to see how they would fence this off for Anime Expo. And then here is that interior atrium again, and as you can see here, this one is different. This one is LA Auto Show themed. They got some cars in there, and it looks nice. And then here is another view. I think this is sort of what they're thinking of for the Kentia Hall, maybe. I don't really know what hall this is supposed to be, but again, LA Auto Show themed. I like this. I like how they'd have little stands for it. I don't know if they'd be built into the convention center, but it would be cool. And then here is that top view. Oh, and then the most important view. This is the top part, right? So the top part where they're having that new exhibit hall space that can also be broken into those meeting rooms. This is the outdoor space, and look at this skyline. This looks phenomenal. I would absolutely love to see a photo shoot here. And this is like a walkway here, but right here, I think this is the atrium down, so you can't really stand on that. Would be nice if they made it so you could sort of maybe walk on it if it was strong enough. I don't know. Maybe not. It kind of freaked me out. But I bet over there'd be a lot more room on that side. Right here, this walkway seems a little small, but over there, I bet you it's a lot bigger. And I could see them hosting a lot of like I shouldn't say after parties, but like ritzy parties up here for the event. So maybe it's like a talent only party, or maybe it's maybe they're doing photo shoots. I would love them to make a photo shoot zone for cosplayers and photographers only. I think that's one of my biggest gripes with American conventions is that when I went to Japan last year, they had separate tickets. So you had an attendee ticket, you had a photographer ticket, and then you had a cosplayer ticket, and they were all basically the same price. But the different ticket types allowed you, if you were a cosplayer, you could get into the cosplayer zone, and if you were a photographer, it let you have your camera with you, and because otherwise you wouldn't be allowed to bring like a high grade camera into the convention center. And I think this is something that more and more American conventions need to start doing, especially for like bigger conventions like Anime Expo and LA, Anime Los Angeles, and I think it's just going to be the future of conventions in general. I do know Anime Los Angeles. I think it was last year they banned any large professional grade cameras inside the actual convention center. They were still shooting outside for free and doing all that jazz, but they banned anyone with like big tripods inside. And then this year for LA Comic Con, they actually banned anyone with tripods and light stands as well. Some people said they were able to get away with it if they had smaller setups, but if you had like a big setup with a big soft box, they were telling you couldn't do it. So, maybe they could have a zone just for photographers and just for cosplayers. I know cosplayers have been asking, like, another big thing in Japan is that for cosplayers, they usually have like these like pop up tents, these like cheap, like Amazon fabric tents that they can use as changing rooms. And I would love to see some of that here at in America. You know, uh, just to be able to fix cosplays and stuff on the site would be nice. We do have cosplay repair stations, but just having some sprinkled around would be probably super nice considering how much square like footage is part of the LA Convention Center now. It's going to be tough to get around, and especially if you have a damaged outfit, you don't want to go all the way across the convention center to fix it up, right? Or maybe you arrive at a different point and you want to put on a you want to like swap outfits or something. It would just be practical to have. But yeah, let's keep going. Here's that aerial view. We already talked about that one. Here's that atrium again, and this is from a different point of view. And as you can see here, they're planning to have a bunch of escalators, and it looks like more elevators. And I guess there would be a bunch of meeting rooms around this, right? That rooftop view again, and I think that might be all of them, guys. Let me look here. Let me look in my folder. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. What do you guys think of these, renderings down in, let me know down in the comments below. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I think this is such a bright future for the LA Convention Center. I'm super excited. I know a lot of people are concerned about the not the monetization, the profitability of the convention center is going to bring versus the expenses that it's going to cost to build these, renovations, because it is like a $2.6 billion investment into the convention center. But I think with this type of upgrade, we could get a lot more conventions here at the convention center. And they've already been talking about how they've already had prospective conventions, looking to utilize this space. And I think by having a larger space, we're going to bring in more, exhibitors, more attendees, more vendors, and it's just going to grow downtown Los Angeles in general. I know a lot of people say, that money could also be used for other things in downtown Los Angeles to improve other things. But I also think having a big hub like the LA Convention Center is a good starting point. And LA needs a lot of work, guys. But the convention center needs to be improved because we are falling behind in terms of a lot of things, especially since they've been putting off a lot of like renovations and construction since basically like 2017, because they thought they were going to get approved for construction. They did get approved for construction in 2019, and then 2020 happened, and everything all the money for the convention center got used up because of COVID, and they had to cancel all their plans. And I really regret that because those plans would have been even better than this, in my opinion. But I do think this is something that's been a long time in the works, and a lot of people in LA want this. I know a lot of people are complaining about it. A lot of people giving the mayor a lot of beef in her Twitter posts about the LA Convention Center. And I already did a video breaking down the whole money aspect of this construction. If you want to check that out, I'll try and link it here. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna leave it there. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll try and update you guys more and more whenever more news comes out about the LA Convention Center. Other than that, I got vlogs coming out, so check those out. Bye.